What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Now, today we're actually doing two deck lists and one interview, and we're doing Jordan's two interviews. And the first one is his Seismitoad Garbodor deck that he used to get top 8 at Texas State. And it's just a fairly straightforward Seismitoad Garbodor deck, very consistent with 4 Crushing Hammer, 2 Enhanced Hammers, 3 muscle bands, and basically you just lock down your opponent with Garbodor, with Garbotoxin, and then you play Toad for Quake and Punch, so that way they can't play items and no ability and stuff like that. And just wait a second, and we'll see his second deck list. Okay, so just a second ago, we saw Jordan's top 8 Toad Garb deck. Now we're looking at his first place at Oklahoma, and this is his Toad Aromatisse deck. And as you see, this time, in this Aromatisse deck, he decided to play a Shaymin EX, which, you know, Shaymin EX, that's my baby. Shaymin is my favorite Pokemon, so I'm so glad he played this Pokemon. And he also included the Victini EX, so that way he can counter Virizion and Genesect decks, but overall seems like a very solid, consistent Toad Aromatisse deck. That's why he's won the tournament. But hopefully you enjoyed this interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we do another States question and answer video, and what's your name?
Jordan Roberts,
And where are you from?
Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so I know we're talking about two different states. What's the first states we'll talk about?
Uh, Texas.
Okay, so how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
I went, I think, nine, no, yeah, 9-1, sorry, 9-1-3,
Okay,
9-2-3, 9-2-3. There we go.
Alright, alright. So I know this was like forever ago, but do you remember some of the decks that you played, and did you win or lose?
I think so. Round one, I played Florges, and I was playing Seismitoad Garbodor, and it was just annihilation. He couldn't get anything going. Item lock was hard. Uh, Match two, I played Metacham, and I think we could have gotten through the whole time. This was my first tie of the day, but he was really new, and I think there was 18 instances where he forgot about item lock, and it was apparently it was a game loss if for both players um, if they made a mistake, you didn't correct them in time. So I didn't want to call a judge, and because of all the mistakes, we went to game three and we didn't get to finish. Uh, and then the whole barrage of Eveltal came for like rounds 5, 6, and 7, and I won against all of those because I have a good matchup against Eveltal with Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers and the 3 Lysander count. So once I stop their Quaking Lock, I can just Lysander to the Darkrai, and they get their Garbodor set up for no reason, so they can't retreat it, and I just wipe out all their energy. My only losses of the day of my 2 days were to Seismitoad variants and in top 8 to Virgin, though. So, all in all, I'd say it was a really good run.
Okay. So at top 8, what basically happened against a Virgin player?
Well, it was Long Buoy, and it was a running joke between me and Long not to face in tournaments because we'll make fun of it since he always plays Virgin and I always play Seismitoad Garbodor. So we face, and I look at the match slate. I was like, yes, I'm the number 2 seed. And I see Long's the 7th seed, and I just kind of die on the inside. And the thing is, I made a conscious decision to play Enhanced Hammer over Headringer because I didn't expect Virgin. And so game 1, he got going, and I stopped it for a short period of time, but he just overtook me. And then game 2, it was just annihilation. And he was really nice, and we made up this idea that I could pound with Trubbish for my last turn. So we set this knockout up. So I had a Trubbish, a DCE, a Muscle Band, a Burbank, and a Laser. And even though I lost, it was worth it just for that one hit.
Alright. Well, top 8's still very good, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Alright, so I guess the first question is, why did you decide to play Seismitoad Garbodor for the tournament?
Well, my whole city's run was basically with Seismitoad Garbodor, except for the one instance I played Seismitoad Dusknoir. So it was what I felt comfortable with. And Texas States was like 50% Texas players, and then players from South United States coming in. So I didn't really know the meta. So I decided to play the deck that I felt most comfortable with and hope that would turn out for the best.
Okay. Now, you played the 5 water. Was that for Grenade Hammer, or was it just that, like, to get rid of, like, I guess, like, Headringers and stuff like that? What was your reason behind the water energies?
Water Energy really comes in clutch because a lot of players started teching for Seismitoad with Xerasic, and I wanted to prohibit that the best I could, and if I go first, I shouldn't have to attach a DCE, and if I can just attach a water and then turn 2 attach a water, I can keep that Quake and Punch lock up without any worry of them taking off the DCE and me missing the lock.
Okay. And I know most players only play on like one or two Lysanders. Why did you decide to play three in your deck?
I like consistency, and at Florida Regionals in my Seismitoad Garbodor deck, I played 2 Birch and 2 Lysander, and it didn't work out well. And I realized I was in need of Lysander. Lysander was the most important card in the deck. If I can pull up something and get it locked in the active position, like it's Jirachi, or something with a high retreat cost, like Landorus, I was golden. So I decided to play 3 over 2, just in case I had instances where they were prized. So when I needed them, they were always there.
Okay. So after playing this tournament, would you make any changes to the list, or you think it's pretty solid?
I think it's really solid. I mean, Headringers over Enhanced Hammers would be the only one change I'd make, but that's just based on the meta. If you're expecting a lot of Virgin, you shouldn't even be playing Seismitoad Garbodor in the first place. So I would stick to Enhanced Hammers.
Okay. All right. So the next states, what states are we at right now?
Oklahoma?
Okay.
Yeah.
And how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
I went 5-1-1.
Right. And what were the decks that you played against, and did you win or lose against them?
Uh, Round 1, I played Groudon, which I thought would be a bad matchup, but since I play Shaman, it was really good. And he started with Landorus both times. I was like, yes, this is a great matchup. And then he attaches a weakness policy, and I cry. I 2-0'd him. Round 2, I played against, I think, Landorus Bats, and I 2-0'd him. That's a bad matchup for Seismitoad Aromatisse, since you played 3 fighting weak Pokemon, 2 Darkrai and 1 Malamar. But I got the Seismitoad out, got the lock up. He didn't get Haluchas out, and I swept.
Okay.
But however, round 3, I faced another Lando Bats, and I dead drew, and I lost really badly. Round 4, I think I played Kyogre, and I swear this guy's eyes blew up when I dropped that Shaman. He took like 3 knockouts on a non-EX and an EX, and the Shaman one-shots it. So I was able to sweep from there. But he top decked a Muscle Band and a Suicune, which stopped me from being able to attack. So he won game 1, and then a quick game 2. And we were pretty sure game 3 would go to time, so he offered me to tie. I was like, no, let's play it out. And I get this bulky Yveltal set up with like 9 energy, and I swept his field, and he was really upset. And after I won, he was like, oh, I feel a little bit better now by losing to you. I don't remember what I played against round 5. Round 6, I played against Megan playing Seismitoad Slurpuff. And that's like an auto win for me, since all Seismitoad variants can't like stand the being able to free retreat and the AZs and stuff. So I was able to 2-0 her. And then round 7, I tied with Brandon Smiley to get to cut.
Okay. So going to top 8, are you nervous? Are you excited?
Well, I apparently don't know how to count, so I thought I was playing bulky Yveltal at first. And I didn't play Manectric, so I was worried. And then Brandon's like, bro, you're playing Philip Barta. I'm like, really? And he was playing Donphan. I was so psyched. That's a really good matchup.
Yeah. So what happened in top 8?
Top 8, faced Philip Barta. Game 1, I think it was particularly close. We traded back and forth, but since he takes 2 prizes, I take 1. It was hard to keep up, so I lost game 1. Game 2, he started Lone Halucha, and I started Lone Spritzy. And I was going for that Spritzy donk. Like, I need a DCE Muscle Band Burbank Laser, and I missed it. But, I mean, he couldn't really get into much. He got a Donphan out, and I just Lysandered it, lasered it, Burbank, Muscle Band, DCE, Toad, Quake and Punch. Basically won me the game. He scooped. And then game 3, I think a Sleep Flip actually decided that match. Because I needed his Halucha to stay asleep 1 turn so I could draw into a Max Potion. And as luck would have it, Malamar pulled through. So from there, he tried to get stuff set up. He tried to load up a Donphan, but I just Lysandered it up. And once you get rid of the Donphan that can wreck, the game's over. Okay. So I think he goes down to like 1 prize left, and I go down to 1, and and I drop the item lock for one turn, and if he hits a Robo Sub, I'm pretty sure I'm done, and he misses it. So that won me the game.
All right. So going to top four, you made it past top eight. What are you playing against?
Empoleon, Swampert, and Slurpuff.
Okay.
Not joking.
All right. So
And
yeah, what happened?
game one, he didn't run too hot. He prized 3 Empoleon, but I had the item lock up, and he wasn't going to hit anything anyway with the item lock up. And the one turn I dropped the item lock, he draws into his 1 Empoleon, but it was too late at that point. I think I've taken 4 prizes. So I think he scoops. And then game 2, he's wailing on me. I am dead drawing. I have no DC on a Seismitoad in the active. And then I top deck a Jirachi when I'm about to lose. I'm like 3 prizes down. And once you get the Quaking Lock up and you knock out its main attackers and you can max potion away the damage done by Empoleon, you start making the comeback. And it came down to I had a really huge hand. And I had game in hand, and if he ended me, I would have lost. And I think he was too focused to really play a supporter because he didn't, even with diving draw and Empoleon to get it for him. So he just loads up a Swampert and attacks. And I just reveal the Lysander and win.
Right.
Because I can just Grenade Hammer.
Okay. Now, was his list more like an Archie's list, or did he actually use like Rare Candy and Empoleon and stuff like that?
I wouldn't say Rare Candy and Empoleon since he played 4-3-4, but it was no Archies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So going to the finals, are you nervous?
I'm playing a good friend of mine, and I was a little nervous because Lando Bats wasn't my A game. And I know he plays 2 Lucario and 3 Hawlucha, so I was a little bit nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Game 1, I kind of storm him with Seismitoad, Quaking Punch, healing off damage, and he went first, so I got the turn 1 Quaking Punch off. And once that happens for a Landorus Lucario deck, and he has a Landorus active, it's kind of GG. So without drawing into supporters and not able to use items to get supporters, I just swept him. I think it was like 4-0. Game 2, I pretty sure I dead draw. He runs hot. He's knocking out everything on my field, and it was just GG from the start. And then game 3, again, it comes down to a coin flip. I needed his Lucario to stay asleep, so it didn't one-shot me. And because I had laser damage going and I had the Quaking Punch, so if he stayed asleep and he didn't attack me, I knew I could take that knockout and would get rid of all the energy on the field. And as luck would have it, he didn't hit the AZ, and he stayed asleep. So, and he admitted at that point in the game, this is where I lose this game. And it was the quickest final I've been in a very long time. It was 20 minutes, so like 15 minutes, and our judges were so impressed because they couldn't keep up with us playing. But it came down to I knocked out that Lucario. He had no energy on the field. He hit supporters, but he couldn't hit an energy for a Lucha, and I just swept.
All right. Well, congratulations on winning, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So I guess the first question is, why'd you switch from Seismitoad Garbodor to a Seismitoad Fairies deck?
Well, at States, I saw how good Brandon Cantu and William Herman were doing. So I was like, William, what's your list? And he wouldn't tell me. And I was kind of upset. I'm like, I'm about to build a list that's going to beat yours. So I was determined, and I was working hard on the list. I was spending like a week and a half perfecting it. And then, Brandon Cantu's list is revealed. I was like, oh, all this time wasted for nothing. But it was really similar to mine, except for I played a Shaman over his Manectric, and I played Victini for the Virgin, which was completely useless. And I played 2 Colress over 2 Skyla, and it ended up getting me the win. And I was just so devoted to the deck. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to play the deck at all. I had like a 3-week break, and for the first week, I tested the Seismitoad Aromatisse deck. I was like, I think I'm going to play Executor. And the night before, I was like, let's play Seismitoad Aromatisse for no reason whatsoever. I guess it paid off.
Maybe you just had a vision of you winning or something.
Yeah, something like that, I guess. Our car broke down on the side of the road, and we were sitting there for like 5 hours on the road to Oklahoma. So that gave me some time to think about it.
Oh, man. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Okay. So you did play the one Shaman, and I've seen a couple of us play Genesect. Why'd you pick Shaman over Genesect?
Uh, well, you play Shaman for Groudon, and I don't like the whole fact about having to put two Rainbow and a Fairy on there for damage that could potentially not even knock out a Groudon. It only does 100 base, so that'd be 200. But again, once the opponent brings up the Groudon and knocks out a Seismitoad, that's when a Shaman could really pay off. Because at that point, you're doing 90, 110, and you have pre-existing damage from Seismitoad, which will knock it out. And it's fighting resistant, and I was expecting a lot of Lando bats that day. So if I started with it, I wouldn't get completely wiped, I guess. I don't know. It was a really interesting card, and I had the Genesect, and I had the Shaman, and I was like, this card is cute. Let's play this.
Well, I'm glad you picked Shaman. That's my favorite Pokemon. So,
It's a great Pokemon.
all right. So you talked about the Victini for Virizion and Genesect, but did you ever use it for anything else?
I didn't face Venusian Genesect, but I did play Metal, and it didn't come in super clutch. It took a knockout on Cabalion, but I regret putting it in. I would have rather had the second Malamar, and even though it helped out in that instance, the Shaman actually was used more in that matchup.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
you did play the one Malamar. Did you ever have a crazy Maximar turn?
I used Maximar once that day, and it was against the Saboteur Slurpuff player, and she grabs a Xerasic from her discard pile with a VS Seeker since I dropped the item lock, and I was scared. I was like, I have one Rainbow on the field and a lot of DCEs on my Malamar. I can win the game right here, but if I miss it, I'm dropping the item lock. So I decided, you know what, YOLO, let's just do it. I get my 7 dice, and I'm flipping them, and I'm missing them. I think I get down to the fifth one, and I needed one to do it. I roll. That's my lucky die too. I roll it, and they get heads. I'm like, this almost got really bad. I'm never doing that again. 7 energy, and it took the fifth one to finally hit it.
Okay. So you did talk about the AZ some, but was that card really clutch or was it kind of dead?
Against the side of the Starpop player, it was really good because with the item lock, you can't really max potion. But your advantage in that deck is it has so little damage output, so that once he finally gets that 3 times 5 hits on, you can just AZ it back up, and that wastes 5 turns of his game, and then you can just come back and knock out the Seismitoad, and hopefully drop the item lock. Since I only played one Malamar, it was hard to draw into since it was prized. So the AZ really came in clutch.
Okay. Now you talk about taking out the Victini for another Malamar. Were there any more changes you'd make to the deck, or you think the list is pretty solid?
Uh, I think it depends on your meta, because the Shaman could be easily replaced. If you're facing a lot of Virizion and Genesect, I'd recommend keeping in a Victini and replacing the Shaman with a Malamar. If you're worried about Groudon and Kyogre and Seismitoad mirrors, you should play the Shaman. But it's a utility card. You want to focus on your Seismitoad lock, so it just varies.
Okay. So how many championship points are you at currently?
I think I'm at 352.
Okay. You got your worlds. Did you get your worlds invite when you won the tournament?
Yeah,
All right.
I was really excited
Congratulations.
about that. Thank
All right.
you.
So how many points are you aiming at? Are you just trying to go for the sky's the limit kind of thing?
Sky's the limit. I want to go to Kansas City Regionals and Nats, and I want to have that experience I never really got because I just moved up from seniors, and I didn't think it was really worth my time to invest to traveling places, so I only played in the cities. And once I started seeing I was doing really good at the cities marathon with 3 second places and 1 first, I was like, hey, I can actually get my invite this year. So I decided to try for it, and I guess it paid off.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So speaking of regionals, are you still gonna play Seismitoad Aromatisse or Seismitoad Garbodor? Do you know what deck you gonna play yet?
I'm testing several things right now. Seismitoad Slurpuff Dragalge is something I've been testing. Executor, Seismitoad Bats. I think it comes down to the fact that Roaring Skies isn't out, and I'm really scared of that set due to Rayquaza. So Seismitoad will be viable still, because Rayquaza being able to one-shot a Seismitoad and you only doing 30 damage isn't too satisfying. So I think I'm going to play out my Seismitoad until it's not that good anymore. So some form of Seismitoad variant, probably.
Okay. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Caleb Higdon, giving me some ideas. David McNatt for driving me there. Milo for letting me stay in his hotel, even if it was on the floor. And for we needed to get to the tournament, and I couldn't fit in the front or back seat, so I was in the trunk, and that was weird faces when I got out. And they did start doing donuts in the parking lot to screw with me. So shout out to that. Nick Greco and I guess Blake. That's about it, except for my mom and dad.
Yeah. Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck at regionals.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, take care.
Thank you.